Intermediate Unit 19 in Pennsylvania. I think I got that right. Will be unable to join us, but we're very fortunate to have Jeff Craven stepping into his slot. Not only is Jeff NAMTEC's executive director, but he recently retired from Unit 19, so without a doubt he'll be able to do Jeff's presentation justice, I have no doubt. Today's agenda starts out with Jeff's presentation, and then we are very honored to have Dr. Sally Lindgren, who is the Director of Technology and Innovation, and I love that title, at Great Prairie Area Education Agency in Burlington, Iowa. Sally is a longtime member of NAMTEC, and she inspires each of us with her vision and through the innovative programs that she develops. Jeff and Sally will both present for about 20 minutes each. And then we're introducing something a little new this time. We're inviting one of a NAMTEC's organization partners as a sponsor to share how our partnerships can positively impact the work that we do. This month we'll have Eduporium's own Arena Tooley sharing how Eduporium is working with ESAs and school districts to support maker education in our libraries and our classrooms and throughout our schools. Arena will speak after Sally, and then we'll have a few minutes for questions at the end. We are starting a little bit late due to the technology snafu, so we may run a few minutes late, or we'll just ask everybody to talk just a little bit more quickly. We are going to begin the presentation with Jeff. So if you're ready to take over, please feel free to do so.
Okay, thanks, Doreen. I want to welcome everyone. I'll put on my Jeff hat with the as the executive director of NAMTEC. I want to welcome everyone to the shared conversation. I really enjoy these presentations because I think what it does is it extends a lot of the motivation and the enthusiasm that we share at our annual leadership summit, and the fact that we can get together, continue to talk, about these things and learn what other ESAs are doing around the country. So, again, welcome. I hope that you get as much out of this as we do presenting it to you. Now I'm going to put on my Jeff K hat. I know too many Jeffs, and talk about a project here at the CSIU that we call our Innovation Zone. And just to give you a little background about that, as Doreen had mentioned, I had retired here from the CSIU actually about a year ago in January. And one of the things, actually as a result of visiting Sally's ESA in Iowa, was one of the things that I was really an advocate for was we really needed to establish a makerspace. And everyone kind of looked at me, okay, well, what does that mean, exactly means? And, we would go through all the, is it collaboration, is it creating, materials and so forth. A lot of those kinds of discussions. And sadly enough, when I retired, they finally took my took my project on. So I don't know if they were glad to see me go, or but nonetheless, we did get it in place. And ironically enough, they moved me out of my office, and they actually set up that became one of the areas in the makerspace. So that's kind of cool to be sitting in my old office in a whole different venue. So I want to talk a little bit about, we called ours a CSIU Innovation Zone. In Pennsylvania, where a lot of the technology startups and so forth, the economic development, they call them Keystone Innovation Zones. So we thought we would, kind of a play in the words and create our own innovation zone. But again, a lot of the same logic, a lot of the same principles that, we wanted students to really come in and be innovative, and think about things, work together in projects, and kind of think out of the box and create things. So we thought, okay, we're gonna create this innovation zone, again, which I'm kind of sitting there. You can probably see some of the graphics and stuff. I'll give you a tour of it. But the first thing, I guess, and I'm working here from Jeff's notes, was that we had a terrible plan, and our terrible plan was build it and they will come. So so obviously, we got the space. We moved some people out of desks, forced me to retire. Not just kidding about that, but So we had this space, and it's like, okay, so what are we going to do with it? You know, are we going to put some, you know, obviously, you know, we could put, you know, very colorful chairs and tables in it and beanbag chairs and all those kinds of things. But again, that's not superficial. I mean, again, why that helps, you know, the creative juices to flow, that's not really the whole entire makings of what we call the Maker Ed movement. So a couple of the questions that we developed as we worked through this was, okay, so how are we going to fund and build the zone? You know, and again, if we had to do this from scratch, we probably would have created the committee, the technology, curriculum, special education to give the space, you know, a name and let users define how it gets used. I mean, we built the room, put the equipment in and so forth. But again, you know, we didn't necessarily have that buy-in from all the various stakeholders. And the other thing was, you know, how are we going to partner with companies for the equipment? And probably most importantly, and I'll be anxious to find how Sally's probably doing this as well, is how are we going to keep this zone evolving fiscally viable? I mean, you know, so we're flying the plane while we're building it, but it's like, okay, so today's 3D printer is not tomorrow's 3D printer. You know, the technology is rapidly changing. We hired 2 students from Bucknell University, a local university, to actually help assist us on the design. Their experience, they'd actually helped build 2 different makerspaces at the university, and they actually placed themselves in a competition similar to Shark Tank, where their business idea and so forth, the building makerspaces and so forth, they were actually one of the placeholder winners in the local Shark Tank competition. So again, what we ended up doing in the room is we ended up gutting it. We put a new carpet, painted the walls, you know, bought the desks, the chairs, the beanbag chairs. Konica Minolta lent us a 3D printer for 6 months. Our 2 Bucknell students talked to dozens of companies, and they were able to get us free snap circuits, little bits, SparkFun, and makey kits that we could provide. Promethean gave us a really good price on a 115-inch active wall. And that's right now, that's the current equipment or technology we have in place at this time. One of the things I guess that, you know, I should mention is the fact that here at the CSIU, we also run a statewide technology purchasing program. So the other thought was too, having this space would also give these technology companies an opportunity to set up a working showroom, so to speak. And again, you know, the idea with that is that, you know, teachers, administrators, or students, whatever, can come and actually get their hands on some of the equipment that, you know, these companies are selling and so forth. And I mean, that sounds easier said than done, but we were successful with Konica and as well as Promethean. So some of the future plans, we want to invite teachers and students from our 17 districts to really visit the zone, introduce them to new concepts, new devices, and we call it a cool place to come. But again, the thing is, what we want to really do is we want teachers to think out of the box, come here, see how they can use the resources that are here, and duplicate a lot of the activities and so forth in their own classrooms. And I think one of the things you'll find out, as Sally will talk about in her space, is the fact that you don't necessarily have to have a high-tech equipment to be a makerspace. Again, you know, it's the whole theory, instructional technology, and that whole concept on creating. So we had recently here last week we had 6 students and their teacher come visit the zone, and they had a great time. You know, what we had done ahead of time is we prepared. We had little plastic 3D logos of their mascot, and so as the students were working through projects, we left them see, or I basically helped them design the mascot. And the thing is, we knew there wouldn't be enough time to print them all, so we had printed a lot of them ahead of time. So as it was printing and it was done, and the students got to see the project, we said, okay, now how many would you like to take one of those home? And of course, at that point, we gave each of the students their own version of the mascot. Of course, they really liked that. Some future ideas that we want to assist in funding the zone in the future is setting up a video camp, obviously with some of the green screen technology. Drone camp, drones obviously becoming very big. We want to try and set up our local drone competition, makey camps, and of course an art camp as well. So those are some of the things we have here in our makerspace. I can give you just a real quick, I'll hold my computer up, I apologize for this, I'll give you just a real quick tour of what we have here, and hopefully you can see this. So over to my far right there, you can see we have the, of course, the beanbag chairs. We have the 115-inch Promethean board, and you know, we can see we have some graphics, some kind of high-tech desks, and then let's see if I can go back to the other room back here is where we actually have our 3D printer sitting back there, and of course we have some double robotics telepresence robots and some workstations. But you can kind of see, you know, the graphics and stuff. We're all kind of set, you know, a kind of unique, kind of fun, and for basically to help you know, kids to really think out of the box, create projects and so forth. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'll turn it over to Sally at this time.
Thanks, Jeff. Can everyone hear me okay? Thumbs up. Awesome. Well, welcome to 21C. This is my second redesigned learning space that I thought I'd give everyone a few minutes, a really brief virtual tour of our secondary learning, or our second learning space. Some of the folks on the call today have actually seen room 21C, our first redesigned learning space in Burlington. It's been so successful in the way we're using it continues to grow that I built a second space in our Ottumwa Area Education Agency location that is roughly twice the size of the first room that we built. And that's where I happen to be today. So I wanted to give you all a quick glimpse of the space. And then I'm actually going to wheel across the hall and go into our actual MakerSpace. And then our technology integration specialist, Lisa Jacobs, is going to share a few slides with you to kind of give you an idea of how we're using the learning space to support the maker movement. And that it's really not about the makerspace per se, but it's about, you know, the hands-on, active things that we're doing around learning that we're doing. And we're doing it by taking it out to schools, by using it in our learning space in a number of different unique ways. So I'll let Lisa talk about that here in just a moment. But here, let me give you a sneak preview of our 21st century learning room. And so as I raise the camera up, I am basically at the doorway. And I think you can see Jane and Lisa back in the corner there. Looks like Jane is actually writing on the walls. There are three tenets to the room design that we use. And that is, first of all, mobile and flexible furniture. Right of our displays, and you'll see that the room as I pan around is got a large theater screen, multiple displays. Let me come down here and a little bit around, kind of doing this virtually here. Try not to make anyone too dizzy. We built in a green screen on the wall. You can kind of see here the walls are kind of shiny. So that's the third tenet, is writable surface. So all of the walls are writable space. And the entire room is actually driven by an iPad. So we've kind of visualized it. So we have lighting zones, audio zones, sound zones, and you can see Lisa's kind of demonstrating that. And the nice, I guess should I say, the centerpiece of this space is a campfire, a large campfire. Let's see if I can get that up there where you can see it in the center of the room. And our campfire is used for reflective activities. It's sort of like taking the old storytelling around the campfire and putting it into an instructional context as an actual strategy that's used by teachers. So you get an idea of the space. And I'll tell you, this room is used highly by students and teachers that come in from neighboring schools. We're developing some project-based learning, career technical education programs in partnership with community colleges. And I think what I'm going to do now is we're going to go, just on a little tour down the hall. I just wanted you to kind of see the learning space. But as we talk about Maker and the activities, I got to get the little cart over the hump. Sorry about the ripples there. So down the hall we go. Isn't this fun?
I feel like I'm watching a hospital show or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so we're heading in now. I'm going to turn this around. We're actually heading into our media center, and it looks kind of like a traditional media center. But in the front of the space, as we kind of walk into the room, and it's really just a place that we kind of park all kinds of our Maker activities. So we have, what is this, center?
These are the demonstration units we take out to schools. So we have Spiros, Makey, Cubelets, and Little Bits. So schools can check these out, and right now we usually send a person with them, so the actual schedule, and one of the tech coaches or tech integration people will go with the kids.
So as demonstration units, it's kind of cool because folks can go to our media catalog and choose a demonstration unit, and what they'll get is the demonstration unit plus a consultant that will work with the teacher and the students to actually work with the demonstration, whether it's robots or Cubelets or Makey, as Lisa just said. And of course, we've got, racks of things that they really don't look too pretty or just kind of basic parked in here. But what it does is it gives us another space to work with teachers or to work with students. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let Lisa talk through some slides. I'm going to share my screen and see here. Try. Okay, so this will give you, I think, an idea of, I think everybody can see that.
I don't know if they can see the Great Prairie logo.
Okay, can you see that? Are you seeing anything, or are you still seeing me?
You got the thumb up.
I see your presentation.
We have your screen, Sally. That's good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to let Lisa just talk through a few of these slides just to share with you the kind of things that give you an idea of how kids and schools are actually using this space and the Maker activities.
So I just wanted to share a few photos real quick that show what our space looks like and how we use it. This is the actual room where we house the things we've collected, and on the right I've put a list of the things we started with for donations. And these are some lower tech things, and it looks kind of arts and crafty, but we combine those with some technical things. You'll notice we have LEDs and some technical things that go along with it as well. The group of teachers are actually preparing to teach lessons in the 21st Century Room, and some of them chose to use the MakerSpace materials in their lessons. So this is an example of the carts being rolled down the hall into the room, and we kind of lucked out that our portable green screen attaches those carts, so that's the actual green screen we take out to schools. And because the things are in boxes, if we have a school we're working with, we can just grab materials and take with us if we want to use them in a regular classroom. Here's a student working with an LED, and this copper tape is kind of fun to use. Works nice with paper and just things that kids want to build and add a little technology to it. So simple circuits. The kids here, this was actually last Friday. They're working on solar system, and they're coming up with their version of this that is just a way to display the solar system, their model. At the beginning, they had a more structured activity, and then the rest of that time period, they were able to just explore and use the materials they wanted to that were on the carts. And it's kind of amazing that some things we didn't even know we'd need, that's the things they chose to use. I was pretty happy to have the balloons. I thought about bringing some other things, but because we're kind of short on time, it worked real nice for solar systems. So we just collected things that you can use for a variety of lessons. Here you see the green screen attached to the back of the cards, and we do take that out to schools, and the kids are making the green screen pictures themselves, and they're putting themselves on different planets because we were doing the solar system. And this is just a screen to remind us that we do take some things out, and we connect the high-tech and low-tech together when possible, so we're just using the Play-Doh with the Makey. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show as far as how we use it in our room or we take to schools.
Thank you, Lisa. So, so with that, I think that pretty much is our story for today. So, Angela, do I turn that back to you now?
To Doreen.
Doreen, turn it back to Doreen. Thank you. Hi, Doreen.
Thank you, Sally. And you're staying around towards the end for some questions, I'm sure.
Sure.
Okay, so we are now actually going to turn it over to Eduporium, and Arena Toole and her colleague Jane Fine is also joining her. So we're going to learn about how Eduporium, as an organizational member of NAMTech, works with ESAs and with schools, supporting them with both product and support and services. So Arena, if you are ready, we can turn it over to you.
Yeah, let me share the screen with you. Okay, so do you see my screen now?
We do.
Okay, great. And so I just really want to thank Jeff and Sally, because it is so nice to feel that we are part of such a wonderful movement, and to see the result in actual spaces and actual activities for teachers and for students. So I'm Arena Toole, I'm co-founder of Eduporium, and here with me my friend and colleague Jane Fine. She's a director of school and DSA relations. And let me just talk a little bit about Eduporium. I made this slide that we are partner, and I choose this slide because if you see what partner made of letters, so it is inspire and share and trust and negotiate and benefit and cooperate and inform, and we are actually all of this as your partner, and you are all of this for us as our partner. So the nature of our relationships just based on a very interesting math. So 1 + 1 = not 2, not 5, but 3, because we are building more. We are as a sum of our partnership. We are more than only us or only you. And with selection of partners, we really look what we share. So do we share the same language, the same passion, the same mission? Are we serving the same community? So do we have the synergy? So this is things which we are looking for, and with ESAs we found absolutely wonderful synergy and wonderful so merging together, which helps us to grow, and we really hope we help you to grow as well. So Eduporium is your full-scale partner in education. We really look and focus on meaningful use of innovative technology and technology-rich maker products. We correlate EdTech with standards to support future readiness in our students. We are a value-added supplier of emerging technologies. We search everywhere to find really nice, interesting products, and we inform you and bring this products to you. We vetting products according to educational values. We're also vetting different vendors. Are they good or not? Do they support education or not? And we design different technology kits and bundles, and we run several programs. I better not to talk about them because I have pretty short timing, and I love what we do. I love Educorium, so that's why I better so continue according to my slides. When we look at partners, vendor, and products, we have specific selection criteria. We're testing products and testing up as availability of partners. We also look at educational and pedagogical questions. Is it possible or not to adjust and to use emerging technology products into education? Are they creative? Do they have creative potentials? Do they have physical component? Is it possible to use them as a part of a system? And so on. We are also your trusted vendor. We incorporated in Massachusetts. We are on a contract. We are certified minority business enterprise. We have not only MakerSpace products, but whatever technology you might need. And we run several services, including supporting documents for grant writing and profit sharing and fundraising programs. So we have few cases. I will just run through them. One thing is just innovative technology bundles, which we built so already for several bosses in New York, for district in Rhode Island, for Girl Scout and Boy Scout in America. So we are working with very respectable organizations, and whatever bundle we are building, it exists in our collection, and also all bundles which we are building are customizable. So we are building whatever specifications so you can you need. So this is Doreen probably recognized. So this is the Making Learning Happen conference in August, which was done in New York. And so this is our workshops which we are running with collaboratives, and Angela will recognize that. So in that case, I have to thank you for your time, and here's the contact and bigger pictures of us rather than on small screen which we have right now. Okay, and any questions would be just extremely welcomed.
Thank you, ladies. That was very good and informative. So we do have some time left. If there are anybody who would like to ask either Jeff or Sally or our Educorium lady any questions, please feel free to do so.
Sally, I think one question I have, again, I know one of the things that we've been struggling with our ESA is, where do you find curriculum activity and so forth? Because I mean, you know, it's one thing obviously to have the equipment, but again, you know, we were kind of hoping that these university students, I mean, they were engineering students, so they certainly knew the technology perspective of it, but again, that whole curriculum and lesson plan resources and so forth.
That's a good question, Jeff. I can.
Okay, there you go. Now, good question. Good question, Jeff. I was muted. Sorry for that. What we're working on from a whole curriculum perspective right now is we're grounding a lot of our 21st century learning work around the 4 C's. So basically, we're actually working with teachers to virtually shift their lesson plans, fundamentally, so the activities are collaborative instead of individual or whole group. So we're basically, shifting the lesson plan, and then we're co-teaching, and we're bringing in teachers into the space. And then eventually, as they become acquainted, we get their lesson plan shifted, then eventually they'll bring students. So it's really quite we're documenting a process that we're doing to help make that shift possible. The second thing we're doing is we're investing a lot of professional development and training into the blended learning world, looking at personal and digital, I want to say passive differentiation, but more into personalization and blended learning. So we're looking at a lot of strategies, record keeping, management in regard to classroom management, with those tools. And then in addition to that, Lisa, sitting here to my left, has actually been working with schools in their curriculum, bringing in students to work with it. I'm going to let her address a little bit of that curriculum question.
I think one of the important things, we get asked a lot about professional development, how you learn to teach in a room like the one we have. What we're trying to do is partner with teachers, so we don't plan the lessons for them, we plan the lessons with them. We bring them in, and we, like the teachers you saw in the video, some of them we do some lessons with the teachers first, so they see what 4Cs look like, they experience it. So we usually meet at least twice with the teachers, and before that we usually visit their classrooms. And that may be, I visit several classrooms in a day, so I don't go just do one, but I'll visit several in a building. And then we plan the lessons together. We're using Google Documents to share those. And we have some districts that have technology coaches, so I partner with that coach. And eventually, I'm seeing where the coaches can actually continue these lessons in their schools or bring the teachers here on their own. And so we're not planning lessons for the teachers, we're just kind of providing a framework.
Helping them shift their thinking around active learning as opposed to sit and get or passive delivery of instruction.
Right. Yeah, the other thing I gotta tell you, I'm gonna shamelessly steal from you guys is the whole Campfire.
Isn't that awesome? I have to tell you all that Campfire is the most amazing part of that space. We have done, I hosted the State of Iowa IT Summer Retreat. So my audience was mostly, engineers and very technical, non-educator folks. And we are doing some planning on our infrastructure for the future. So we worked in teams collaboratively, and I had them all draw a schematic of their architecture, their topology on the walls. Mm-hmm. And then we did a gallery walk to look for it. And then, the next day we had some vendors come in, and there were a lot of emotional feelings, and we sat around the campfire, and everybody calmed, everybody engaged, and it was just magic. And that's the kind of thing we're seeing with our staff, we're seeing with students, and it's just really great to be doing something and then suddenly get up and say, okay, everyone, let's move to the campfire and reflect. It has been amazing.
Sally, I think that's an amazing way to get people to actually reflect. We always talk about, maker education and innovation and creation, but we don't leave enough time for that reflection at the end and bringing everybody together. And I think this really goes to talk the way you've created your learning spaces, right? Mm-hmm. Very deliberate. Right. That space is for. So it's already in the back of people's mind that this is going to happen. I just think it's brilliant. Or I'll be stealing that idea. So thank you.
Well, you're all welcome. You don't have to steal it. It's yours.
That's why you're coming to New York, remember?
Yes, that's right. We need to talk about that.
Yes, we do. So, does anybody else have any questions?
One of the questions we had here, Sally, was, do you run any kind of fire, though, when we talk about a campfire?
Oh, well, we thought about a digital one that maybe we could hang from the ceiling or something, so it would, give you that ambiance of the fire. But, honestly, our campfire has actually done a really good job of putting out political fires, emotional fires, even curtailing some of that drama that happens inside institutions. So it's really been a good thing that way.
Maybe we can ship that to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I can't go there. I was thinking maybe the kids could build a fire using the LED lights, So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very, very true.
Jeff, I think it was you who mentioned the drone camp. and having the drone competitions.
Sure.
Is that something that you already have planned, or is it something that you're thinking about?
It's definitely something we're thinking about, and Jeff Kay, unfortunately couldn't be here today, I know, has been doing some research on it. What I've seen happen in other drone competitions is sometimes they incorporate a programming module with it, and I want to say, I can't remember, Python, programming language. So like so what the kids would do maybe is they would actually program the drone to fly through an obstacle course, in a gymnasium. You go so many feet around, turn, that kind of thing. So the kids would not only get to program the drones, but they would also get to compete against each other and seeing how, who either came the closest to a point or whatever. I've seen it done that way. I also have seen some, I know he's also talked about doing some things like, like where they would program and they would fly through like a hoop or something like that. But again, being done indoors and so forth.
I've seen the high-tech ones on television where they're doing that, and their drones are going so quickly. But I'd love to hear the plan and how it goes going forward, because we did get through Eduporium a couple of drones in some of our mobile maker kits, and I'd really like to find a way to use them more effectively and efficiently with kids.
Sure. I know one of the things, and it's kind of interesting with the whole drone movement. Jeff was telling me he just came back from Las Vegas. He was at the Consumer Electronics Show, and they actually have drones out there that actually have things for like spraying crops. Now they've actually outfitted drones with spraying crops, painting flagpoles, that kind of thing. And again, there isn't a lot of flight time, and the capacity really isn't there yet with the technology. But again, it's going to be there. And when you think of careers for kids, as a drone pilot, that is that really video gaming? Sure, is that yet a viable career going forward? It's pretty exciting.
Okay, if there's no other questions, then we just want to thank everybody for joining us. And Angela is recording the session. And the recording, Jeff, then goes up on the NAMTAC website. Do you also send that out to people that have signed up, that have participated?
We can do that. In fact, what I'll do, real quick, I'll just take a picture.
There you go.
Everyone smile now. I got it. Okay. That's probably the easiest way to get the names and so forth. But yeah, I'll be sure to send that out.
But this and all the other previous shared conversations are on the website, and
we do. And one of the things I want to share quick with the group. I'm in the process of actually setting up a YouTube channel on the NAMTAC. So what we'll do then is if you want, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the shared conversations, or again, you can link directly to them. Or, we'll have the obviously the glasses that accompany the shared conversation, but then we'll also have the video archive there on the website as well.
Thank you. Well, we certainly want to thank Irina and Sally and Jeff for sharing with us. And of course, as always, with Angela for hosting us in her Zoom webinar room. We want to remind everybody that we have 2 more shared conversations planned. On March 21st, we have blended and personalized learning. And on May 16th, we're going to be talking about open education media and open education resources and how they can be handled through ESAs. So unless anybody else has any other questions, comments, or concerns. No. Alrighty, well, thank you, everybody, and thank you to our presenters.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Everybody thinks spring.
Good to see everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Hey, Sally.
And of course, thank you to those new people that joined us for the first time. I was thrilled to see a couple New York directors joining us. Thank you for that. Alrighty. I guess this is it. So Angela, if you'd like to close the meeting, we'll see y'all next time.
Okay, bye-bye. I'm stopping the recording.
Thank you.